Hey y'all, I'm James Wright and welcome to, not my shop. Today we're with the Woodworkers Guild of Georgia and we're going to have some fun talking about different woodworking clubs around the U.S. Now, I am a woodworking YouTuber, and that means the best way to learn about woodworking is YouTube, right? For almost all of human history, the only way you could learn is to find someone who knew and have them teach you. But that changed with the advent of the printing press. People started writing books on the subject, and the really cool thing about this is you could actually learn something about the woodworking without having someone around. The downside is you could learn about the methods and the reasoning and the thoughts behind it and the theory, but you couldn't actually learn the doing. That requires a bit of skill, and you can learn that through trial and error, but usually that meant you still had to go find someone who knew what they were doing and would teach you. But one of the weird inventions that came about were woodworking clubs. It was a place where you could go and meet other people who were interested in it and actually learn side by side, face to face, as opposed to just in the written word. Along came TV, and you could actually see some things being done. Norm Abrams, This Old House, The New Yankee Workshop, Roy Underhill, they all made it come to life, and you could kind of learn side by side with them. But still, it wasn't quite there. It was a one-sided conversation, kind of like a book. And now we have YouTube and other online resources, which are kind of the same way. It's still a one-sided conversation. Now, in this case, you can post comments down below or send videos back and forth, and you can kind of help out a little bit that way, but it's still not as great as having someone there to actually correct you and move your arm around when you're running the saw. Little adjustments like that are really what is needed to learn woodworking, even today. And that's why usually when people are asking, where should I begin woodworking? I tell them there are three things you need. Number one, you should subscribe to some of the periodicals. The journals that come out in this are fantastic. The three that I get all the time are the Gristmill, Popular Woodworking, and Mortise and Tenon. There's a bunch of others, but I find these three really work well towards hand tools and hand tool history, the things that I'm interested in. Number two, go out and buy some books. There are some amazing books and some old ones that are being reproduced, and we're kind of in a golden age right now of printing and information coming out in the written word. There's lots of great information. You can learn a lot in here. But number three, and probably the most important, is go find a local group or club. This is the fastest, most productive method that a person can pick up hobbyist woodworking. There are clubs all over the US, and they are great places for people just to connect. But there's a small problem with clubs. They're filled with old people. I go to clubs all across the US teaching and giving presentations, and usually I'm one of the youngest people there. And that's not just because woodworking is an old person's hobby, and in some degree it is, but the big reasons for that is the way that you used to learn. You would go find a periodical, a book, and then you would find your local club and you would learn. That was the only way to learn. Whereas for the last 20 years or so, we've had the internet. And this has brought up an entire generation where you don't go to learn things from a club or a magazine, you go and learn online. And for a lot of things, how to fix your car, how to change a light bulb, that works great. But when you're talking about a skill, something you learn by doing it over and over and over again, you just can't pick it up that quickly or that efficiently. You end up going through a lot of trial and error, running into problems and trying to make it work and muddling together. And those are things that can be fixed if you can find someone local who's willing to help you. But that leads us to the next problem. Finding these clubs can sometimes be pretty difficult. Most of them do not have a website, so they're hard to find online, and a lot of them are even named regions, like the Fox Valley Woodworkers, a region near me. That's not something people are really going to be searching for. They're searching for their city. I really want to fix that. And one of the things I've kind of become known for is being able to have maps and places that people can go out and find things. You want to find lumber, you want to find tools, now you want to find woodworking clubs. We're going to have them all in one place. So I'm currently developing a map where all the information is in one place. And the problem is, I only know about the clubs I've been to, and I haven't been to that many. I've been to a couple dozen of them, but there are hundreds of them around the US and around the world, and I want to collect them for not just the US, but Canada and Mexico and Europe and everywhere. So I need your help. If you're a member of a club or you know of a club, then fill out the form. There's a link down below. You can put in all the information and it will then pop up onto the map. This is something that's going to take a little while to grow, but if you check back in another week or two, you might find that there are different clubs around that popped up in your area on the map. And if you just want to go look at the map, go to handtoolfinder.com. It's actually a quick note to the resources tab on my website, Wood by Wright. And on there, I have a map for finding lumber. I have a map for finding interesting places to do with woodworking. I have a map for finding tools. I have now a map for finding woodworking clubs, as well as tools I suggest and places where you can find tools online, and lots of other resources for finding tools, for finding other woodworkers, for anything you need in the woodworking world. So go check that out. But you may notice this video isn't anywhere near done, and that's because I want to give you guys a taste of what some clubs do. There are a few clubs that just meet once every 2 months or so, but then there are some clubs that really go all out and have all sorts of different resources and things to do and ways to get engaged. So I want to take you down to Georgia. There we're going to go see the Woodworkers Guild of Georgia, and a meet. I was actually just down there giving a presentation, and they do some amazing things. They're actually in the middle of about to build a kind of a clubhouse where you can come get together and learn, as well as use the tools. If you need a shop, they've got all the supplies and have people to learn with you. But don't take it from me. Let's actually take a look at what they've got. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how the organization began?
The Guild was formed in 1982. One of the founding members was Highland Woodworking. The motto of the Guild is service through education and fellowship.
Now I think we mostly focus on community service and building relationships with each other and creating a woodworking community.
Well, we're trying to get a member shop right now, and we're well on our way to doing that. We're raising money for it. We already have over 250 members right now. This meeting once a month is just not enough. I mean, we have fun for 2 hours a month, but just think if we did it 24/7.
Like turning it into a makerspace?
Well,
Yeah.
It's going to be officially an education center. So it'll be more focused on teaching people and things like that versus people coming in and we'll be able to use tools. People can come in and get time. We'll have big tools that people can use that they don't necessarily have in their shop. But the focus will largely be on education. Toy program. So we make toys for charities. We used to do it where once a year we would get together at somebody's shop in some like October, November, make as many toys as we can make, and then donate them to 2 or 3 local charities. And then over the years, that's changed to where we just put plans on our website. We have about 17 plans available on our website right now. And we just invite people to make toys, and we work with a couple of our local patron sponsors, Woodcraft and Rockler. And somebody makes a toy or a group of toys, they can go to their local Rockler or Woodcraft and drop them off, and they'll store them for us, and then we can go pick them up later. There's also, was it Heavenly Peace?
Sleep in
Heavenly Peace is an organization, nationwide organization that makes beds for kids that don't have a bed to sleep on. And we've been working with them for the last year or so, mostly helping to prepare wood. They'll get together periodically and they'll just have a build-off, and they'll just build beds wherever. And so in this local area, we'll get together with them and cut all the wood, so when they're ready to build, they can just put them together or do things like that. Last month we brought in somebody that's not a guild member but has a lot of experience with power tool restoration, and he spent an hour talking to us about all the ins and outs of taking an old tool that doesn't work and turning it into a probably better than what you can buy nowadays. Next month we're going to talk about learning new things. One of our members just built a pie table, and in the process of building that table, he had to do some things that he had never done before. And so he's going to talk to us about how he went about learning a new skill, failing at it, learning it, doing it again, that kind of thing. That you don't just start and finish and have this perfect thing. You got to.
But we're hoping when we get our education center, build it and they will come type of thing.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. That's what we're hoping. We've talked to many other guilds around the country, coast to coast. And every one of them has said once they had their shop up and running, their membership just blossomed and just grew exponentially. So
we're getting a lot of support from the guilds that we're talking to. So some of the ones that built some quite impressive shops, and they're.
Can you tell me about the symposium you do once a year?
So we're working on doing it twice a year, but at the moment we're doing it once a year, and we used to do it twice a year.
We used to do spring and fall symposiums, 2-day symposiums, Saturday and Sunday in the spring, and bring in outside professional speakers. Some of them are professional, not all of them. And
some of them are just content creators.
Yeah, just content creators, YouTubers, stuff like that.
Most of the stuff we do is generally free for all the members, and for the symposium, we'll charge a nominal fee that basically tries to cover the cost of putting it on, because we're going to cover travel and any fees necessary for whatever professional we're bringing in. So it's not an expensive thing for the members, and we kind of.
But when we get our member shop, I mean, we'll be doing all types of teaching,
Right.
and community service and things like that.
How would people want to find out more if they want to actually contact the guild?
www.gofga.com, Woodworkers Guild of Georgia.
Woodworkers Guild of Georgia.
Sure.
We also have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
It's called Woodworkers Guild of Georgia.
And we're on Instagram.
Yeah, and we're on Instagram too.
Instagram, and
Yeah.
we run a Facebook group. It's more of a service for woodworkers.
And the YouTube channel has all of our meeting presentations for the last 5 or 6 years.
And we do
They're all up on the website,
all
so
of
if you
our-
join as a member, you can watch them. So our new education centers for education, community service, and for camaraderie, everybody to get together and enjoy themselves. And we're hoping that growing the membership will bring in younger members, female members. They're all welcome to join the guild. Because as Gene just said, we're aging out, which means we're dying, right? So we need to replace ourselves and maybe give a little bit of our knowledge to the next generation and pass it on so we can continue this wonderful craft of woodworking that we all enjoy.
So if you can't tell, this is a passion for me. I love the information and the old written word, but sometimes this book is just going to tell you one way to do it, and that way may not work out well for you. Now, you could read all of the books on all the topics, or you could go and meet up with other people who have already messed around with different methods and have found one that works for them in one situation or another. Rub shoulders with people around you and find out what works for you, because the best way to learn is to meet people, to talk with them, and actually get to work. And for you late millennial, XYZ, and even alpha, like my daughter's now getting into woodworking, you've got to try these clubs. They're not just for old people. They're for you. So I think that'll do it for now. If you do have any questions, thoughts, ideas, snide remarks, throw those in the comments down below. And while you're down there, you can look at other clubs and groups around you and add some to the map if you have something that's not on there. Plus, if you'd like to find out about the Woodworkers Guild of Georgia, then you can find out information down below. And I do want to say a huge thank you to all the patrons on Patreon. Everyone scrolling over there on that side. You guys are the ones that make this happen. Without you, we wouldn't be here. And I don't have to talk about some mattress company or VPN. It's because of you guys. Thank you for that. I think that'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye.
So yeah, I was here today talking about the Woodworkers Guild of Georgia, but it is a very interesting place because they are very shiny, golden, you could say, even gilded.
Ha ha.